It was an outstanding baseball game, and proud of our guys. They got themselves reset and prepared, and thought we were ready to play tonight. And Patrick Frederickson hung in there and made some pitches, and we were fortunate to get out of the first inning there with only one on the heck of a play by Luke Pedersen, and then to get to throw the guy out and the run down at home plate was a big part. If you study their year, they score a lot of runs in the first inning and try to get the momentum, and you go through the first half of that lineup, and it's an outstanding lineup, and especially, you know, the middle of that lineup is really treacherous to go through for 9 innings. But you know, we had a chance in the fourth, had bases loaded, and weren't able to get a big hit to maybe give us some space in that game, and would have liked to have gotten a little bit more out of Patrick, but walked Larnick on what we thought was a strike pitch, and forced us to play our hand, and probably had to get Max Meyer in there earlier than we wanted to, and I got tired there at the end. But the inning all started with Quan chops the ball with 2 strikes down the line where you can't make the play. We make a good pitch, get a jam job in the right center field, and all of a sudden the inning's on its way. And so I thought we made some good pitches there, and we're just unfortunate. That's baseball sometimes. You know, you make good pitches, you don't always get the results you deserve. And Jackson Rose came in and got a big strikeout, and, tried to extend a fastball there to Rushman, and didn't quite get it to the location where he wanted it. But, well played game, fought game, and lots of emotion, obviously, and energy in the stadium. And really proud of our guys. They've competed all year long, and nothing to hang our hats about. And going on the road and playing in environments like this in the NCAA tournament, it's difficult. The crowd has a big influence on the game, in my opinion, and so that's why the ability to play at home and being good enough to play at home, I think, is critical if you're trying to advance here and get to the College World Series.
Questions?
You mentioned how the team came ready to play tonight. I mean, when you look at the season, the way this team played, you're losing some guys, but you feel like you really built a foundation that has taken this program to the next level?
Well, maybe Mikey wants to answer as well. Yes, I do. We're hopeful. We're going to lose an outstanding group of seniors, and if you study their resume, it's pretty impressive. Big Ten championship in 2016, and NCAA regional, we got to the championship game, the first one with Texas A&M, and lost there. And last year we were half a game out of winning the conference championship, and got to Saturday night game there and got beaten. I don't know what it was, 13-14 in a game with Iowa. And then this year, of course, the year we had in the Big Ten championship, tournament championship, and getting to the Super Regionals. And I think if you study the resume of what these seniors have done and how they changed our culture, from a meeting we had when they were freshmen at Northwestern, we got beat up pretty good. We're having a very good year in 2015, one of the only 2 losing seasons I've had as a coach, and called Micah and his freshman classmates into my room and told them we got to change the culture. There's some things have to change here, or we're going to be going through this longer than we want to. And I give them the credit because they've set the standard. They've been the leader of the team, and they've set the standard and held everybody accountable to that standard day after day after day all year long, and they deserve the credit. So I hope the younger players have paid attention, understand what it takes to compete and play at this level, at a very high level, and hopefully they've learned some lessons, and we're going to lose some really, really not only good players, but great people and great leaders. And I'm hoping the guys took notes and we can move ahead going into next year. Michael, you want to say anything on that?
Yeah, I think I'd echo what 14 just said. That I would hope that this senior class has laid a foundation of playing the game the right way, preparing the right way, and doing just the right things on and off the field. I think that we put together a season where night in and night out it took a lot. It took a little bit of something from different guys each night, and so I think that guys should be ready for that. And I think that come next year, I really do think that we've laid a foundation for guys who are ready to continue to compete at a really high level.
John, when you put Max in the 6th, was the plan to have him finish the game, and was there any hesitation to put him out there in the 9th?
Yeah, I was struggling with that decision in the ninth. You know, the farthest we rolled them out was last weekend against UCLA. We got into the 50s. Can't remember for sure, 53, 55. I don't remember exactly, somewhere in there. And, you know, we haven't pushed him hard all year. I didn't want to use him past 75 or 80, and we got to that point. It looked like he got tired. His slider lost some of its bite. And, you know, he's your best arm, and if you lose the game, you're done. And so he's a heck of a competitor, man. He's got electric stuff, and he's pretty special. And so we knew we weren't going to leave him on the bench and not win the game, and he gave us everything he had. And so, you know, I still think he made some good pitches that day, and chop we can't get to, and a jam job. And so he still did his job. But I think we got him out of there when it was time to get him out of there. And I thought Jackson came in and handled himself fairly well there in a pretty big stage. And, you know, we're one pitch away from maybe still playing out there.
It was obviously a fight to the end. What adjustments did you guys make from yesterday's game and today with the Beavers?
Well, first of all, you know, a different pitcher out there. Heimlich, he's a pro pitcher. He's a top left-handed pitcher maybe I've seen in my career based on how he pitched the other night. And so Femmel's going to try to get you to expand the zone and uses 3 pitches and wants you to chase and expand, and he's not going to throw it down the middle. He's going to nibble, and thought we did a good job at times in that game of making him really work and throw the ball in the strike zone and try not to expand and chase. And so I thought we did a better job of managing our bats tonight. And I thought we pitched better tonight as well. But I think, once again, you're only as good as your next day's starting pitcher, and I thought our starting pitcher gave us a chance. And we knew if we could I think if we could have gotten one more inning out of Patrick, we'd probably be in a little better position with Max. But that's just the way the game goes sometimes.
Mike, Christian Chamberlain, that little freshman lefty that OC brought in, what was he kind of doing to keep you guys off balance with some of the strikeouts he was able to get there?
He was effectively wild. Had a good fastball that would kind of ride in on guys. But yeah, I mean, you couldn't really predict where he was gonna go with it. Had a breaking ball that kept you just off balance, and so I think he did a good enough job of mixing up those 2 pitches and then being just effectively wild enough, not necessarily all the way outside the zone or to the point where it was just easy to take pitches, of course, but that's what really made him effective. He had the good enough fastball that really kept you on your toes, and then being able to throw the ball, I mean, all over the zone. So, yeah, he was tough. It felt like, yeah, that was another opportunity where, say, a ball lands fair here or there or whatnot, game might look differently. So he did a good job.
John, just a question quickly about Coach Fornestier with his retirement. Just a few words about him and what he's meant to you over the last couple decades.
Well, we've been together for 33 of my 37 years, and that's unheard of probably in today's world. But first of all, I'm glad he got the ride to the finish line he did, because he truly deserved it. And I couldn't think of a more special way for him to finish his coaching career than with this group and the season they put together. And he's the ultimate baseball man. He's a great teacher, cares about the kids, great evaluator of talent, headed up our recruiting efforts for all these years, and he organizes our practices on a day-to-day basis, and he's a great teacher of the game and the fundamentals of the game. And so he has different strengths than I have, and we have different weaknesses, but I think his fingerprints are all over our program since he joined it, and our program wouldn't have had the success it's had in my 37 years without Rob Fornestier. He's been the glue, kept the program together. He's a consistent, hard-working individual, and who didn't play for the Gophers, but very proud and loyal and loves the Golden Gopher Baseball program, and it showed in his work ethic every single day. And it's going to be different without him, really different. But I'm happy for him and his wife, Ruth, that they get a chance to move on to the next phase of their life and spend some time together, and happy for him, but be greatly missed in this program. And we're going to have to pick up the pieces here and go to work and follow his lead here and continue to prepare our team to play at a high level, and he was a big part of our preparation.
John, you certainly pushed Oregon State here tonight. What are your thoughts on that team as they move forward in Omaha, and maybe if you could evaluate?
First of all, I want to congratulate Oregon State. Outstanding baseball team. They're very, very well coached. Anytime I've had an opportunity to coach and play against, Pat Casey's teams, they're always well coached. They execute the fundamentals of the game. They play the game the right way. And they're pitching tonight, the left-handers, and really executed. I thought the pitching plan to a very strong way, but I think they have an outstanding lineup. I think they're going to give people trouble trying to pitch to that lineup for 9 innings. We found that out. They really grind out at bats. They don't chase and expand the zone much. They really work hard at getting them into the hitting counts they want, into the pitch they want to hit, and you got to be able to execute some pitches when you're behind in the count, because they're all over the fastball. If you don't execute, or you can't execute something else in the strike zone. So I think they have an outstanding approach at home plate, and they're going to be that lineup's going to give people problems in the World Series. They're outstanding defensive team. Their catcher, Rushman, does a fantastic job back there handling that staff, and they're strong up the middle. And if you're going to be a championship team, you got to be strong up the middle. They're very strong up the middle, but try to go through the middle of that lineup, 3, 4, and 5. You get a couple guys on base. It's a lot of work, and it's a handful, and we saw that here tonight. So they have an outstanding team. They're going to play in a different ballpark than here, a bigger ballpark. So in TD Ameritrade, and we played the conference tournament there. It's a different game in that park. It's huge. The Ellys are huge, and you got to be able to play outfield defense, but also the ball doesn't carry. You're not going to have a chance to probably hit as many balls out of the ballpark as you do in some of the other college fields, this field and others that we play in, and our field at home. So it'll be interesting to see how that offense plays in that big stadium, but they surely put the ball in play, and they grind out at bats for you up and down that lineup. And with Heimlich on the mound, they'll be able to beat anybody in the country. And Femmel will go out there, and he'll force you to really try to put together a good at bat against you. And the 2 lefties I saw tonight were pretty special. So I like their chances. I really do, based on what I saw out there in the last 2 games. And obviously they haven't won 49 games because they're not good. They're very good. And so I know they're well coached and they'll be prepared. So I wouldn't count them out, Omaha. That's for sure, based on what I've seen.